If we were to pin down this rotation using the velocity plot, which is usually the most reliable way to do it, Bradford Road, right by West Hill Road, same spot that we had with our last radar estimate. So bottom line, no matter how you look at this storm, whether you look at it on the velocity to see which way the wind's blowing, or you look at it with what we're used to here on the kind of that red and purple reflectivity we're used to seeing, either way, it's coming up through the same area right now. It's coming up on the west side of Keene. Is there a tornado with this storm? We don't know. We don't know because there really are only two ways to know whether you've got something tornadic. One, again, is through radar estimate. The other one is through folks reporting something on the ground. I'm looking now. I still have no reports indicated through the National Weather Service of any tornado. If you are seeing right now, however, a funnel cloud on or a tornado on the ground, something of that nature, you always can email us. weather@necn.com is our thank you. Okay, very good. With Stanby, phoner. Stand by. Okay, very good. Getting a phoner coming up here. Oh, good, with the New Hampshire Department of Safety. Looking forward to that. As soon as we have that, folks, I'll bring it to you. And we will keep the radar live on your screen at the same time now. The beeping you hear in the background, yet another tornado development being spotted on radar. This one is for that same storm I told you about headed for Newfane, Vermont. From Westover to West Wardsboro, it's important that you stay down in the basement. If you're in Somerset, Vermont, the center of the storm's coming over you right now, and you'll be able to come out of your basement in about 2 minutes. Keene, New Hampshire is definitely the area we're watching right now. This is the center of our rotation. Whether or not there is a tornado on the ground is something that is yet to be determined. You usually don't know until the thing came through. It's an unfortunate part of tornado warning, but it's the way it works. It's the way it works back out in the plain states. It's the way it works here. You see it on the radar before you ever get it on the ground. Sometimes you get it on the ground, sometimes you don't. You act like it is because you don't know better one way or the other. Meadow Road and Island Street, hang on. Here comes a rotation. It's headed for you back in the west side of Keene. We are following you through with a tornado warning that's up for the city of Keene. Tornado warning originally had been up through 3:15. Let's see. My guess here on the National Weather Service is that we're going to end up seeing an extension of that. But the rotation associated with this storm has weakened a bit. It's weakened a bit in our tornado warning that expired at 3:15. We'll see whether the National Weather Service ends up. Have we extended that out? Let's take a look here. Keene, New Hampshire. Oh, I've got reports coming in like crazy out of Keene now. Underneath that hail core that came in. Okay, tornado warning is being allowed to expire for the time being. That's good news. Tornado warning being allowed to expire. I would recommend, because we're still seeing it on radar, and this is not, I'm not at all into keeping folks on guard longer than you have to be, but because we're still seeing on radar, and we've been able to track a rotation right down to the street level, I would recommend staying down the lowest level of your home and staying down, if you're in the basement on the west side of Keene, stay there for the time being, because this is something that now I'm getting reports, a lot of penny-sized hail reports out of Keene, but I also got a report of ping pong ball size, which is 1.5 inches in diameter. In New England, once you get that big on the hail, you know you got a real nasty storm. So now that we've got confirmation of 1.5 inches hail out of this thing, and we've still got rotation being indicated with this storm, you want to make sure that you're staying safe. Central part of Keene, anywhere really in Keene, make sure you're staying down in the basement for the time being until this thing comes through. I can tell you that areas west of Keene now, you've cleared. You can get back out. So, for example, the threat for any rotation with this storm is pretty much done when you get back out along Route 9. Oh, here's the latest radar scan. Let's take a look at it. Latest scan coming in. Here we go. Center of the storm now, just moving past Keene. All right, we want to go to the phones now. We've got Jim Van Dongen, who's with us out of the New Hampshire Department of Safety. Sir, thank you very much for joining us here today. And what do you have to offer on the weather that's unfolding across New Hampshire right now?
Well, at this point, we've had no calls into 911 about tornadoes touching down or any damage. Now, obviously, there's rain, there's hail. You've had that coverage. And we have there was a report of one lightning strike. But so far, we have not had any reports of a tornado touchdown or any damage related to that. The tornado warnings that were posted for Cheshire and Coos County, they should be expiring right about now, but the tornado watch is going to continue for the entire state through tonight. So we're probably not quite out of the woods yet.
Sure. And speaking of the storms that we've had across other parts of the state, any word on anything that transpired back out across Coos County with that storm yet? Or we've also got a big
We're keeping our eyes peeled just to look and see if we saw anything coming through. We have some high buildings here downtown, so church steeples and things that concerned about.
Any damage that you know, that you can see, that you've heard of?
No, not at this point. thankfully.
Thankfully, indeed. And William, once again, if there were to be any reports of a tornado in the city of Keene, are you likely to have heard of them?
Probably not the clerk's office as much as our mutual aid or fire departments. I did contact the mutual aid about 10 minutes ago, and they said they had not heard anything at this point, and that they were relying on the National Weather Service to communicate out.
All right. And did you, when you got your warning, did you do anything other than keep your eyes peeled? Did you go downstairs? Did you do anything like that?
I did. I went out and actually grabbed some hail and brought it in and showed the staff, and because some were actually thinking about heading out outside, and I said it's probably best to stay in, and so they listened after showing the evidence.
Have you seen hail that large ever before?
I have not. I've seen hailstorms up here before, much smaller with larger quantities, almost like snowstorm after it's come through. But this was really ripping the leaves right off the trees and everything. So.
Really? And at this point, again, you believe the worst is through?
I believe so. We have one ominous cloud just to the south of the Keene line heading eastward fairly quickly, and the lighter skies brightening up to the west.
And was there thunder and lightning that came along with this?
Oh, definitely. Large lightning strikes, quite vivid, and heavy rain. The winds actually were quite calm for most of the event. They just started to pick up towards the tail end, but nothing too exciting, just the trees sort of rustling a little bit.
And William, before I let you go, let's bring Matt into this. Matt, I don't know if you've been listening. I know you're following what's going on in Northampton. Anything you'd like to ask William before we go?
No, I mean, essentially it looks like Keene was spared a blow from a tornado touchdown, but we are getting a lot of reports of the hail. You do have another big storm that has been looking somewhat tornadic back out by Newfane, Vermont. So I would urge you just to stay on guard. We'll keep a close eye on that for you and keep you posted here on ACN.
We'll keep an eye on the radar, and thanks for the advice.
And thanks for talking to us, William Dow. He is the city clerk in Keene, New Hampshire. So, Matt,
yes.
As we have been watching this storm activity move through, you have been taking us back a little bit further south into western Massachusetts, Northampton, South Hadley, Belchertown. You were talking about as the storms move east there.
Yep.
What's the latest?
Well, the latest is this, Mike. We continue to see rotation being indicated here on the Doppler radar. What I'm going to do is I'm going to swing you over to what's called a radial velocity plot. You're looking at Northampton on the right side of your screen, Route 91. Of course, Amherst is home to a lot of students, and a lot of parents have interest in what's going on out in Amherst. So here's what we're looking at right now. This is the rotation. This is what National Weather Service forecasters look at. This is what I look at when you say, okay, do you need to pull the plug here and issue a tornado warning? When you've got red, that indicates air going in one direction. Green, air going in another direction. So essentially here, you've got air coming toward the